Hello again, it's Priscilla Batzel in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard. Nearing the end of making 400 videos since last April. So I have in front of me a 12 by 16 inch canvas, and the day has turned cold, so my paint is not drying quickly, so I am encouraged, in spite of the lack of sun, to go ahead and use my OXO omelet turning paint spreading miracle that's available on my Amazon link. And wishing I had my glasses. There they are. I don't know why I ever take them off, to tell you the truth, but I really only need them for close-up stuff. Well, I say that, but everything's getting a little fuzzy, to tell you the truth. Anyway, so paint flows to paint, and paint spreads paint, and paint facilitates paint to flow. And we are using paint that's meant to flow because all of my premixed paints have pouring mediums in them. In my case, it can be any number of things, all mentioned in the new book, Because I Can, available also on my Amazon link. My paint pouring recipe is also available underneath every single video in the description. So, whatever changes I may be going through usually has to do with whether decor pouring medium is on sale or not. And I like it. I also like GAC 800 in all of my paints, regardless of what else is there, to keep my paint from cracking. And paint is not spreading quite as quickly as it would if it were warm. Also, I'm using the smaller of the two. I like the larger one, but it's in my paint bucket, my water bucket for cleaning my tools. I find it's necessary to keep my tools clean, or I get aggravated with little bits of dried on stuff, and the spatulas don't work as well as they should at that point. Okay, so now I have a cup of colors, and I'm not going to mix much of anything in there with a stick, but I'm going to mix it by forcing it to go in straight. I'm going to add some white in there in between, sort of like a ring pour. And I'm going to try not to go overboard. And then I'm going to just scrape it out with one of my Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatulas. Hate wasting paint. This is the solution to that, hopefully. And it allows me to try and experiment with something I've been playing with the idea of. I've been using chain and pulling loops of chain through paint to see what will happen, and I'm so not done trying it. And nothing's going to keep me from adding more colors. Everywhere I've got in mind. And a lot of times things pull sideways, and as long as I have the white wet paint in the background, that means that for the most part, I believe, haha, fingers crossed, that more often than not, yeah, I beat around the bush long enough, the neon colors will dry lighter. So I did just do a chain piece, which encouraged me to want to do more. And this is what happens when I do more. I didn't want to use an overabundance of paint because I wanted to see what happened when we had a chance to drag as much stuff around as possible. And loop it around. And whatever we start with, we can always add more. I'm not so sure about the yellow and the purple. Ooh, it's pretty. I did not expect that. I thought I might get some mud. That is my Prussian blue from Grumbacher, which comes in a tube, and then I mix my GAC. I add my GAC 800 to the bottom first. All right, I'm going to try and use my chain without rinsing it off yet. Because if there's a lot of paint on there, if you just rest your chain, it will drop that paint. Don't need that to go over the side yet. That is working as well as anything has ever worked. And one of the reasons I like looping the chain is because then I can add these little trailing, spiraling, patterning areas of fun. And whether or not I get a good composition doesn't matter so much to start with, is the fact that I know I have squeeze bottles handy and standing by to do whatever I see fit. So that's kind of cool so far. I'm not saying there isn't plenty of room for improvement. Just taking advantage of all the colors that are puddled and pooled. You can lift that chain right up. And we need something to go over this side. Loving my rainbow effect. Let's see if my claiming that I can... Ooh, what's that? Something that does not belong, and it's clinging to my finger. Probably Floetrol. Good to screen your Floetrol. One day I might. But I've got a lot of paint already mixed. And I'm getting pretty good at picking out the Floetrol boogers. So far, not too bad. Not looping as much as I thought I would, but I'm also not done. Looping and roping. Oh, that was so nice. I don't know if I really wanted to do that. I'm not seeing anything that's compelling as far as pattern goes yet, but if it doesn't really work out to be an excellent composition, what I'll do is I'll make it into whatever I want it to be with adding black or white. And that wouldn't hurt my feelings a bit. I may even tip it at that point. You can't tell. I haven't cleaned off my chain, which I feel I might, except for every time I see it drag and I've got all these colors in there, it makes it really hard to want to do it. Trying to remember to use the loop and hoping you can see what I'm doing, even though I'm down here on this corner. I just realized not really in your line of sight very well. Alright, I've used a lot of what I had to use. And I'm still having fun. I'm pretty sure I should wash my chain off. But I haven't seen anything so bad that it makes me want to do that right this second. Except for that. And then I fixed it. Alright, let's wipe our chain off and have a look and see what I want to do. And what I want to start by doing is adding a little bit of that. It occurs to me I also made up some gold from gold mica powder. Mixed it with... Is that it? No, that's not it. I hid it on myself. Okay then. I'm not seeing it anywhere. Bummer. And I did that very specifically. Alright, so I made up some squeeze bottle gold and then promptly lost it. And I'm just going to play with this for a minute because I've got time. Let that go over the side, not worry too much about it. I do love my chain, I gotta say. I'd really like to be able to do this without making all of the white negative spaces go away. But I also feel like I need some more drama. I know I'm a little quiet. I'm still learning how to do this. And I'm getting really cold. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it's not amicable to my level of having gotten used to things. I really just want some green in there. Does that make sense? Maybe it does, and maybe it doesn't. And I guess we'll find out in a minute, because I have some time. I'm glad I didn't pick a bigger canvas. That was sort of a plan, actually. I'll let that go down over the edge. It's nice to be able to pick some colors, to tell you the truth. And if I just put a dollop of it, then I can take my loop, switch it up, pull it back and forth, curl it around, make little shields there. As long as there's a bunch of paint left on your chain, you can just slow your roll. I can't believe I'm doing all this with one. There, I like that. Just makes me want to do more. I wish I could I spy with my little eye that gold. I can't believe it would be inside. But I do have some of it right here. So what I'm thinking is, I've got some clean chain over here, and nothing's going to stop me except for too much chain. Okay. So I'm going to try and restrain myself somewhat. Yep. That strange sound was my dog with the cone of shame on. Because he's got hot spots right now. And I get tired of seeing him do himself harm. So we're going to give him a break. It does seem to mix in fairly quickly. That piece of information might be okay at some future point in time. Thought I brought myself out a rag. I guess my shirt's available. I like what's happening here so much that I think I'm going to take a minute to try and torch without melting anything. I like the red over here. I don't want to set up the whole surface. We'll just see what happens with a few cells. Maybe we'll drop some more bright red orange over here if it wants to come out. I'm putting my caps to my bottles everywhere right now. I think the cold distracts me, to tell you the truth. Let's drag some of that this way. And attempt, oh, that was pretty. I didn't want to make that go away. Okay. Alright, I just need more of that. That's what I need. And I need a lighter contrasting color to make it look like something. And I need that rag I said I had. There we go, that'll work. I like having a lot of rags around. I'm not so sure about this super long chain. That's better. Better coverage. I'm going to take what I can get off the chain real quick. Put it on that corner. Yes, the eye jumps back and forth. I am going to run out of time, of course. You knew that. And I am going to also go ahead and see what happens when I'm willing to risk it. Put some yellow in there. Yep, I like that too. So I'm composing with chain. Surprise. I'm going to clean off the other one. On my little rag. It's in the bucket. Of course it is. Take a quick look at this and see what else I want. And I seem to feel that I want some of that. I don't want to over inundate this with anything right now because I like it. Pretty much, it's pretty good the way it is. Really, it's just fun. So I think I like this one-handed better. Because that's when the spirals work the best. Yep. Definitely good spirals. Which you can, looks like, put anywhere you want. And that's cool. Happy surprise. I am going to have some interesting times trying to touch up my edges, I gotta say, but other than that, I'm loving those spirals. I told you lots of things at the beginning of this video. I'm pretty sure I remember doing that, so I don't have to tell you quite as many now, but every time you shop my Amazon link, it helps me out a little bit. Anybody who wants to help support the studio, making videos and keeping me painting and helping me with supplies, can contribute via PayPal and Patreon, and when you do, you're entered in a drawing once a month, sort of in between the months. I put 3 of my paintings up and you get to pick one if I draw your name, and that's pretty cool. Just as soon as Christmas is over and I can find the box I want. I love those little circles. Those are so cute. I love them. So there's wet and dry artworks from YouTube just below the description of the video. At the bottom of the video description, underneath the video. Yeah, I am. I'm going to keep doing this. There's Facebook albums that show the wet and dry artworks from YouTube, and there's Pinterest link, and there's Instagram link, and I have artwork for sale. Should you be interested, just contact me. And other than that, shop my Teespring. I'm trying. I really am. I'm trying to help myself make a living and trying to help my family survive. And you guys helped, and thank you so much for the contributions so far. Really, really, really. And thank you all for commenting. And thank you, 40,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy about that. And please look for my new book. Oh, I found the gold. Please, right in front of me. Go figure. Please look for my new book, Because I Can, it's called, on the Amazon link. And I think I mentioned already, it shows most of my processes in the first 100 videos, and my tools, which might be helpful to you. And I'm pretty well done with this, and it didn't take too awful long, and I learned to love little circles more than I can tell you. So maybe a couple more of those and call it good. One last torching and we're good to go. Awesome. Thank you guys for coming. I hope to see you in the next video. This is Priscilla Batzel in Spring Hill, Florida at Expression Start Studio Gallery on a cold day in Florida in the backyard. Ready to go in. That is just, I love this. Ha ha! So happy you could join me. Are you out here?